Guys, I'm going to attempt to do a yoga video for you. I'm not a videographer and this is from my iPhone, but I wanted to just be able to say hi to everyone. I miss everyone at Healthy Life so much, and hopefully you're getting through this time okay. I know it's a tremendously confusing time for everybody, so hopefully this will be a nice uplifting practice. We're not going to dedicate it to the pandemic. We're not going to do anything like that. We're just going to breathe, and we're going to be, and we're going to hopefully just enjoy thinking about the studio. This is my little home studio that I have. I have my pillow instead of a blanket, and of course my trusty cork blocks. Everyone knows I love my cork blocks. Nice and sturdy for me. I don't know that I'll use them because I really don't know what we're going to do today, but I just wanted to reach out and be able to share this time with you. So if you're watching, thank you so much. Not good at live videos, so we're just gonna do this on YouTube, and hopefully everyone will be able to get something from it whenever it's available to you. So I'd like for you to start off just sitting in a nice cross-legged position. If this isn't comfortable, of course you can take your pillow, a blanket, whatever you have to place under your hips. If you can, just bringing one foot in front of the other, sitting up nice and tall, letting the chest lift up, letting the shoulders not be forced back and down, but just relax down from the very tops, and closing the eyes. Just seeing where your body is. Maybe your hips might be a little bit more tight with all of the emotion going through them. Maybe you haven't been doing yoga during this time. So give yourself a chance just here in silence for the next few moments to really relax into your body, into your skin. As you're here, start to breathe in and out through the nose. Let the belly start to fill into the ribs, let the ribs come out to the sides and all the way into the chest, maybe into the little bottom of the throat. And then with your exhale, let it be the exact opposite, still through the nose, releasing the chest, the ribs, the belly without dropping down, still staying upright. And just follow that nice, deep 3-part breath through the nose if possible. Coming back to just your natural breath. And go ahead and bring the right ear over to the right shoulder, dropping down that left shoulder. Maybe you add your hand, not to pull on the head at all, but just for slight extra weight. And then maybe you bring this left arm out so that the fingertips touch, walking it out far, feeling that stretch all the way down the arm. And then releasing. I do have my window open, so you may hear some dogs or kids in the background here in my neighborhood. Go ahead and come to the other side. And again, if you want to add the hand, and if you want to stretch out that right arm, walking it far away, or using a block if you can't reach the ground. And releasing both hands down to the ground, lifting the chin up, opening up the mouth to relax the jaw. And then finally dropping the chin back down to the chest. Keep the chest lifted. And then bringing the hands onto the knees. Go ahead and start to revolve the torso, going in one direction, letting the chest lead you forward with inhales, rounding the back with exhales. This can be as large of a movement as you want, or it can be a little bit smaller, just kind of staying here, letting the chest rotate around, whichever feels best at this moment for you. I like to do nice wide circles. And let this be fluid. You can move around in it. Just really kind of let yourself feel whatever's going on in the body. And then just switching directions, everything nice and even, the yin and the yang of yoga. And then taking a little pause in the middle, bringing the hands down to the ground, reaching the chest forward. This might be as far as you come forward, and that's okay. If you have more space to come forward, keep the chest lifted and reach the chest forward, reaching the hands forward. Maybe if you have the space, you drop down to the forearms. Once you get as long as you can out, then go ahead and drop down the head. While you're here, while you're in every pose, those nice deep three-part breaths, breathing into the belly, the ribs, the chest, and releasing. And walking yourself back up, switching the way that your legs are crossed, so it's the way that's just slightly more uncomfortable, just to make sure that we get evenness in the way that we're stretching into our hips and our knees. And again, reaching the hands down any amount, reaching the chest forward, and then coming down wherever it is that you land, and taking those nice deep breaths, enjoying this time to breathe, to be silent. And walking yourself back up. If you have something under your hips, go ahead and remove that, moving it off to the side. Bringing your hands behind you so that your fingertips are faced towards the hips, reaching the chest forward. And then if you have the ability, reaching your hips up any amount. Again, it might be here, it might be a little higher. Dropping back the head only if it's comfortable to do so. And slowly releasing back down. Now coming to all fours, hands and knees. So as you're here, making sure that your wrists are directly under your hands, that your hands are spread nice and wide, that your knees are under your hips. Taking some moments for cat-cows to keep the spine fluid, so dropping down the belly, reaching forward the chest as you reach back the shoulders, and lifting the head any amount, maybe looking at where the ceiling and the wall meet. This is your inhale. With your exhale, pushing into the ground, rounding the belly, dropping the head. And then using your own breath to inhale and exhale. A few more times. And with your next inhale, go ahead and come back to a flat spine. And by flat spine, it might not be exactly flat, it's what feels flat to you. So you know that you're not dropping down in your belly, you're not rounding up in your back. But that nice place where you can pull back the shoulders, reach forward the chest, and pull in the lower belly. So from here, we're just gonna reach the right leg back, take a nice stretch for the calf, let the heel reach back behind you, push into the hands, look forward. And then bringing that leg straight up so that the toes are reaching down towards the ground, the leg is straight in line with the hip. You can stay here or you can add the opposite arm, thumb towards the sky. Make sure you're not looking up or looking down, but your head is nice and neutral. Nice deep breaths here, don't forget to breathe. With your next exhale, go ahead and draw the elbow and the knee towards one another, nice and smooth. And inhale, release back out. 4 more times. Exhale. And inhale. And last time here, exhale. Inhale, extend out, bend the knee, reach the arm back. If you can, go ahead and grab the foot, lift the chest, push the foot into the hand. Look forward. Keep the knee bent, but release the hand if you have that bind. Go ahead and bring the hand down to the floor, flex the foot so that the heel's reaching up, squeeze into the glutes and the hamstring. And then with your elbows right beside the body, don't let them flail out, but bring them right beside. Go ahead and bring your chest any amount down to the mat that you can keep your elbows in. So you might be here before you feel them come out, so stop here. You might be all the way down. This is a cat bow. And inhale, draw yourself back up, release that knee down. Reestablish your table and make sure that you still feel that nice evenness, the flatness of the spine. And then we'll take that half stretch to the left leg. So pushing into the ball of the foot, reaching back the heel. And then as you're ready, lifting that foot up, flexing the foot, letting the toes reach straight down towards the ground, making sure your back hasn't dropped down, so keep pulling in the lower belly. You can stay here, or you can add that opposite arm again, thumb towards sky. Head is neutral, so your neck doesn't feel like it's releasing or straining to look up. Breathing. With your next exhale, go ahead and draw the knee and the elbow towards one another. Inhale, extend back out, and do this 4 more times. So at the end of this total of 5 times, go ahead and bend the knee, reach that arm back. So you might stay here. You might even have to bring your hand down, that's okay. If you can, go ahead and reach for the bind, reaching into your foot, pushing the foot into the hand, lifting the chest and looking forward. Keep the foot where it is, keep the knee bent, release the hands back out and down. So we're gonna come into our cat bow, so flexing the heel, bringing the glute towards the sky, the heel towards the sky, keeping the elbows straight beside you, coming down any amount with an exhale, chest towards ground. And inhale, draw back up. Exhale, release the foot down. Go ahead and bring the big toes together, let the knees come wide. We'll come into a wide child's pose. So reaching the hips back, reaching the arms forward, relaxing down the forehead towards the ground, and just breathing, letting your whole body relax down. This is a pose of surrender. So know that you can come into child's pose anytime you want. I'm just lifting up so that I can fix my hair. Obviously, I'm not professional at this, and my hair will get in my way. But stay in child's pose for another couple of breaths. Know that this is a place that you can come anytime that you want to take a break during this practice but don't want to quite stop the practice. Anytime that you want to just catch your breath, if you feel like you're becoming a little winded or a little hot and you're not enjoying that space anymore. Okay, from our child's pose. Without moving how close together your feet and your hands are, just lift the body up. Draw the knees towards one another until they come back so that they're under the hips, tuck the toes. So your hands are going to be a little forward of where your shoulders are, and we're going to come to our first down dog. So toes are tucked under, reach the hips back towards the heels. Lift up the knees first. This is a little bear pose. Just feel yourself pushing into the hands, letting the shoulder blades flatten, letting the hips start to lift any amount, and then starting to straighten out the legs. Let the head hang down. If it feels good, you can walk the dog, bringing one knee in and the other a few times, just getting ready for the rest of the practice. And then maybe lifting up on the heels, on the ball of the foot, reaching down the heels, any amount. It doesn't matter that your feet reach all the way down. Shifting forward, finding plank pose. Pull the shoulder blades back, chest forward. Let the belly be nice and firm. Lift the thighs. And with a little softness to the elbows, go ahead and reach back to down dog. Take a breath here. Inhale, roll yourself forward. Find that plank pose again, nice and strong. Exhale, reaching back up. Inhale, look forward. Bring this left hand just slightly to the inside so you have room outside of it, and bring the left foot right beside it. So just a nice wide lunge. Pause here. We'll take about 5 breaths. Let the chest reach forward. Breathing nice and deep, that 3-part yogic breath. And if you need to drop the knee down at any point, feel free to come here. With your next inhale, go ahead and step it back. Find down dog. And then bringing the left hand back to where it was. The right hand can come in ever so slightly. And then the right leg is going to come to the outside of the right hand. Again, finding just that nice wide lunge. Letting your hips relax down. Dropping to the knee if you need to. Otherwise, pull the shoulders back. Reach the chest forward. Take those nice deep breaths. And when you're ready with your next inhale, go ahead and push into the hands. Exhale, release back to down dog. Pause here for a couple of breaths. Push the heels down, lift the hips up, reach the chest towards the thighs, push into the base of the fingers as if you could lift the wrists. With an inhale, go ahead and raise the right leg towards the sky. This is 3-legged dog. You don't want your hip to open. Your heel is towards the sky. With an exhale, the knee comes in towards the chest. Shift forward. And inhale. Twice more. Exhale. And inhale. And exhale. And inhale. Go ahead and drop that leg down. Take a breath. With your next inhale, you're going to go ahead and lift the left leg up. Exhale, shift forward, knee comes in, shoulders over wrist. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale, release the foot down. This time we're gonna do little plies. So your knees are gonna come out to the side as you push back towards that bear pose again. So to start with, just go ahead and inhale, plank position. Exhale, push back, plie the legs. Inhale, plank. Exhale, plie. Inhale, plank. Exhale, plie. And this time when you inhale, you're gonna go ahead and step the right foot forward at an angle to the outside of your hand. And then step the left foot forward. So you're in a little squat, a little frog pose. As you're here, the goal is to try to get the sacrum and the pelvis to release down as you lift the chest. So if you're not comfortable coming all the way down, you can stay here. You can bring your feet wider, and that might allow you to drop down. Another option is to bring your pillow or your blanket under the heels to allow you to relax the seat down. And yes, you can even sit down on a seat. We'll be here just for a few breaths. Try to sit up as tall as you can. If you are down, go ahead and push the elbows towards the knees to open up the inner thighs. And take a few breaths again. Always kind of pausing to feel the pose once we get into it. So we're gonna come to a little squat twist here. So the right hand, the back of it's gonna come to the ground. The left arm's just gonna reach straight up. If you want, you can add a little reaching over. And then releasing down, just switching sides so the back of the left hand comes down, the right arm reaches up. And release back down. So from whatever frog pose you're in, hands are at heart center with an inhale. You're just gonna reach straight up towards the sky, lean back, and exhale, release back down. Inhale, lift up, reach to the sky. Exhale, right back down. Do that one more. Inhale, reach, lift the chest. Exhale, release back down. So if you're at the edge of your mat, you're probably gonna wanna kind of frog walk back a little bit until you find a little space at the front of your mat. So we're gonna come to what I call crow rocks. So your hands are gonna be nice and spread wide. The arms are inside of the legs. So there's a space between where your hands would be really close to you and as far away as you can get. That space is about a hand distance. That's where you want your hands. So your elbows have a little bit of bend to them. And again, it's okay if you're up here at this point. So pushing down into the base of the fingers again, right at the bottom of the fingers, so that your wrists don't take all of the weight. Go ahead and bring your heels together. So your legs are still coming out, your hands are on the ground, and your arms are to the inside of the legs. You're gonna bend your elbows until you get as low as you can get. And again, that might be up here, and that's okay. And then you're just gonna rock forward. So as you rock forward, you come to your toes. And then you come back. Inhales are rocking forward. Exhales are rocking backwards. It can be a little rock, it can be a big rock. If you're feeling comfortable in these little rocks, stay here. If you wanna go a little further, then maybe with your next inhale, when you rock forward, you lift just one leg, and then you drop it back down. And then you lift the other leg. And then drop it back down. And just staying here, as you lift the leg, feel the belly, the core, reach up to help you lift that leg. So it's not just your legs, your arms, it's actually your core holding you up. If you feel comfortable there, you can stay there. The next step, if you want to go a little bit further, is to rock with both feet off the ground. So inhaling up and exhaling down. Just a little rock. And you can stay here. If you feel really comfortable there and you want to try it, then maybe when you rock the next time, going forward and lifting your feet stay off the ground just for a moment. We're still kind of early in this practice. But inhaling, when you inhale, you want your eyes to be ahead of your hands. And as you inhale forward, you want your eyes to keep going forward, because if they stay where they are, as you come up, you're going to drop yourself down. Always good to have a pillow in front of you too if you are trying this and aren't familiar with crane or crow pose. So go ahead and lift up. Again, maybe you're at one leg, maybe you're at both legs. Maybe you just pause for a moment. And whenever you're ready, you can come back down. So that's just our little crow play for the day. With an inhale, go ahead and lift yourself back up. A little back bend, so lift the chest towards the sky. Exhale, hands come down to center. Go ahead and release the hands down by the sides. Step towards the top of your mat if you come back. As you're here, just finding your ideal Tadasana. So pull the belly in from the very lowest part of the belly that you can. As you do that, you should feel your chest lift slightly. Again, you're not forcing your arms back and down, but you're from the very tops, just letting them come down. Belly is drawn in, so chest is lifted. The arms are relaxed down. And generally speaking, you want to really start everything with the base, or the root of your body, which is the feet. So finding Pada Bandha. To do that, you want to find the four corners of your feet. Under the big toe, under the pinky toes, and then either side of the heel, or you can think of it as the middle of the heel. Pushing into those areas so strongly and evenly that it feels like the little arches of your feet, the insides of your feet, are lifting up ever so slightly. That's drawing energy up the body. So once you get Pada Bandha, lifting the kneecaps by squeezing the knees or squeezing the thighs, drawing in that lower belly so that the chest lifts, releasing down the tops of the shoulders, tucking back the chin ever so slightly, closing the eyes, letting the top of the head reach towards the sky, and just pause here in Tadasana. Take a few breaths here in this mountain pose. With an inhale, lift the arms towards the sky again. With an exhale, we're going to swan dive forward. So slight bend in the knees to protect the lower back. Let the chest reach forward. Release all the way down until you're hanging. To help release the lower back here, bring your fists into the crooks of your elbows and hang. You're probably reaching back into the heels a bit, so let your body shift forward towards the balls of the feet ever so slightly, keeping the heels on the ground still. And releasing the hands down to the mat. With an inhale, go ahead and step the right foot back to lunge. As you get there, make sure that your left knee is over top of the left ankle. The right heel is reaching back. The hips are releasing down, but the leg is still lifting up. Roll the shoulders back, look forward. Stay here or drop to the knee. The right hand is going to plant where it is, and the left arm is just going to reach up towards the sky. Pausing, trying to get shoulder over shoulder, looking up towards your hand if it's comfortable for your neck. And release down. With an inhale, lifting the belly, go ahead and step that left foot back to find plank pose. So for the first plank, just dropping down to your knees, remembering that cat bow where your hips stayed up because your leg was up and your chest went down. We're going to try doing that here for our chaturanga. So elbows stay in. Only come down as far as your chest can come without reaching out the elbow. So it might be here, it might be here. With an inhale, scoop yourself forward, drop the hips, roll the shoulders back, release the tops of the feet for cobra. Take a breath. With your next exhale, tucking into the toes, pushing back to the knees, and then lifting the hips up and back for down dog. With an inhale, reach that right leg up. With an exhale, draw it in. And inhale, reach it all the way forward to lunge. This time with an exhale, plant that back foot so that your toe, your big toe, is reaching towards the front corner of your mat. Reverse warrior. With an inhale, left arm, and then right arm reach up and back. Try to really extend the side body, looking up. Take a couple of breaths here. And exhale, release back down. Turn that back foot forward, inhale, lift the back foot up. And then exhale, drop the foot down as you drop the body down to forward fold. Inhale, put a bend in the knees again to support the lower back and lift all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart. Moving to the other side, inhale, lift the arms up. Exhale, slight bend in the knees, swan dive. Inhale, this time we'll find a nice flat back. Hands can be on the shins, down towards the ground. All you're worried about is that you're not rounding, you're feeling yourself extend out. Exhale, release back down. Inhale, step the left foot back. Finding just that first lunge here. Remember that your knee is over your ankle, reaching the chest forward, the gaze forward. You can drop down to the knee if you want. Pause for a breath. And then planting the left hand, go ahead and raise the right arm up, shoulder over shoulder. With an exhale, release that hand down. Inhale, push into the hands, lift the hips, exhale, step back. And then inhale, just find yourself a nice little plank. So you have two options here. The first is to drop down to the knees and do that same thing we did earlier. The second option is from plank to shift yourself forward, to drop down only halfway, so your elbows are over your wrists. If you're here, your inhale will be to an upward facing dog. If you're here, your inhale again will be to cobra. So if you're still in plank here, if you're watching, go ahead and find your way to come down with your exhale. Exhaling down, inhaling up, and exhale, find that down dog. Pause here for a breath. And then inhale, left leg rises. Exhale, draw the knee in. Inhale, reach it forward to lunge. Exhale, that right foot drops down, big toe towards the front right corner of the mat. Inhale, right arm, and then left reverse warrior. Exhale, release back down. Shift that foot back to neutral. Inhale, lift the right leg. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, reverse swan dive up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Let's pause once more. And then we're gonna do both sides a little faster with each breath. As you're in Tadasana for these couple of breaths, again, paying attention to the roots, the foundation, Pada Bandha in the feet, the strengthening of the thighs, the pulling in, the lifting, the releasing, the pulling back, and the lifting of the head. Close the eyes, take a couple of breaths. Opening the eyes with an inhale, raise the arms. Exhale, swan dive. Inhale, extending the spine, hands to ground or shins. Exhale, release to forward fold. Inhale, step the right foot back to lunge. Exhale, release the hips down. Inhale, left arm rises. Exhale, release the hand. Inhale, step back to plank pose. Knees up or down. Exhale, come your halfway down. Inhale to cobra or up dog. Exhale, down dog. Inhale, using the right foot, step it forward. Exhale, that back foot plants at a slight angle. Inhale, reverse warrior. Exhale, release back down. Turn the foot forward. Inhale, lift the leg. This time, exhale and let the body drop in and out for standing split. So heel is towards the sky, you're not facing the toes out but down. And the body just drops Inhale, drop the foot and find flat back. Exhale, release to fold. Inhale, slight bend in the knees, lift up. Exhale, hands to heart. Other side. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale to a flat spine. Exhale, release. Inhale, step the left foot back. Exhale, release the hips. Inhale, right arm rises. Exhale, release the hand down. Inhale, plank pose. Knees up or down. Exhale, halfway down. Inhale, scoop up. Exhale, down dog. Inhale, left foot comes forward to lunge. Knee over ankle, remember. Exhale, that back foot lands at a slight angle. Inhale, reverse warrior, right arm back, left arm up. And exhale, release back down, turn that back foot. Inhale, lift the leg. Exhale, standing split. Inhale, drop the leg down to flat back. Exhale, fold. Slight bend in the knees, inhale, lift up. Exhale, hands to heart. Release the hands down. Once again, find that nice strong mountain pose and pause. With an inhale, we're gonna do left leg first. Left leg will step back to lunge. Finding this nice lunge where your foot isn't all the way on the ground, so a little bit wider so the heel has to come off the ground, pulling the belly in, chest lifted. The knee is over the ankle. Maybe the thigh gets towards parallel, depending on how you're feeling today. Arms reach up. If you'd like, you can add that back bend by lifting the chest. Really force that back hip forward. See how far you can get. Maybe even bend the knee to get that nice stretch right in the hip flexor. And then turning the foot open. So you want somewhere around heel to heel alignment. It's okay if you're not quite there. You want to feel open from your chest and your hips. You want to make sure that your knee isn't coming in, but is right over the ankle. And then arms reach out, shoulders release down. Maybe turning the palms towards the sky to feel the shoulders release down, and keeping the shoulders where they are, just turning the hands back. Pause here at warrior two, look over the middle and ring finger of the right hand. Make sure you're not reaching forward, but come straight over the hip. Release the right arm down. Bring the left arm up and over. Push into the arm to lift the body. If you can, drop the right arm down. Maybe reach the ground, maybe just hang. And then let that left arm come behind the back. You can stay here. If it's available, the right hand will reach below. And I'll turn around so you can see this. So if you're here with the right arm in front, the right hand reaches below to the left arm. Lift the body and look upward. Otherwise, just stay right here and that's okay, even here. Take a couple more breaths here. And with an inhale, let go. If you have the bind, push into the leg, reach up and straighten out that front leg. Reach the right arm out. As you do, push the left hip back. Find that you can lift or squeeze that kneecap and the thigh here to protect the back of the leg. So you're trying not to hyperextend where you're all the way locked. And that's different for everybody. Sometimes it looks like your knee is back and it's just your flexibility. Just make sure that you have all of that muscle tension right here. So you're reaching forward, you're reaching the hip back as far as you can go. And then without coming down at all with the body, just release the hand. Left arm moves up. Here's your Trikonasana for today. Keep reaching the chest forward. And then with an inhale, bend the knee, reach up, bring both feet so that they're parallel to one another. Before we move to the other side, we're gonna find a little goddess pose. So turn the heels slightly in. You might wanna come a little bit closer in depending on how flexible the inner thighs are. Knees aren't coming inside, but are gonna follow the direction of the feet. So bringing the arms so that they're out to the sides, elbows about where the shoulders are. These are goddess arms. When you're ready, take an exhale, knees come towards the toes, and just kind of sit here. Pull the shoulders back, let the chest be nice and wide. Inhale, temple pose, hands to sky. Nice deep inhale and then exhale. And inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And then just release the hands down. We'll come to the other side for our lunge and our warrior. So with the left foot, go ahead and face it towards the short side of your mat. Turn the right foot, we're coming to lunge first. So knee over ankle. The back leg nice and active, though the hips are dropped down. Bring the hips forward, maybe bend the knee if that feels good. Reach the arms up. Maybe take a back bend. Keep reaching the hips forward. I don't know about you guys, but I'm kind of shaky. Inhale. Back foot plants open up here to warrior two. Palms up. Release the shoulder blades down. And then turn the palms. Look over the middle and ring finger of that left hand. Make sure you're not reaching forward. Try to get about over the hips. Again, that looks different for everybody. Knee isn't coming in. It's right over top of where the ankle would be. Pause and breathe, reflect, feel strong. And release the left elbow down towards the leg. Right arm comes up and over, not just hanging, but in a nice straight line. Reach it out from the chest and up. Pause for a breath. And then go ahead and bring this left hand, if it's available, down towards the ground or to the ground. And now you can reach that right arm straight up. And release it back behind you. So again, you can stay right here, or you can take the bind, left arm comes under the leg to reach the right hand, chest lifts up any amount that's available. Again, perfectly fine to stay here, perfectly fine to stay here. All of those are acceptable and you still get the benefit of the pose. Take a couple breaths. If you're bound, go ahead and release the bind. With an inhale, push into the foot, lift yourself up to warrior two, and then release that front leg. So coming to the opposite side of Trikonasana, the back hip is just gonna shift, the left arm reaches forward, and then just dropping down the hand wherever it lands. Reach the chest. So you're trying to get both the top side and the bottom side of the body as straight as possible, so you're not curving over, but you're really reaching. Gaze can come up if that's comfortable for your neck. You can keep it neutral, straight in front of you. Squeeze the thigh. Protect your hamstring. Oh, that was my back popping. That's crazy. All right, with an inhale, bend the knee, reach back up, and then both feet come forward. So going to the opposite kind of feet. Now your toes are going to turn slightly inward. Just ever so slightly, not completely pigeon-toed. Bend your knees a little bit, feel your thighs again, and then push them back towards straight, but not to locked. Hands come to the hips, find yourself in a flat back and pause. Bring your hands down, flatten the spine again, reach out. Make sure that there's evenness in your feet. Can you feel that your weight isn't only towards the front or only towards the back, but that you feel the four corners of your feet again? Take a nice deep inhale, and then with an exhale, go ahead and drop down by bending the elbows any amount. Breathe deep. Those nice 3-part breaths. With an inhale, go ahead and straighten out your spine again, coming to that flat back. Walking your feet in slightly, and then just drop down to the knees. We're gonna come to gate pose now. So use that lovely extension that we had in our triangle pose and bring it down just a little bit. And we'll do our balance actually on the floor. Many of us are on carpet. It's a little bit harder to balance on your feet. And just this time is a little unbalancing. So we're gonna do our balances down on the ground. We did crow, now we're gonna work towards a little half moon on the ground. So starting with gate pose, let the left foot or your right foot come out. And the right hand's gonna come to the thigh. Left arm moves up and over. Finding that nice gate pose, finding all of the length that you can get here, squeezing in here. Make yourself have little fat rolls between the hips and the ribs. And then breathe nice and deep as you relax that top shoulder down. Look up if it's comfortable. If it's not, just look straight ahead. And release down. Bring in the left hand to the ground. Right arm comes straight up. From here, you're gonna flex the right foot and lift it up towards parallel. Here's your half moon. If you want, you can bring this to a little bind by bringing the foot into the hand, pushing back the foot into the hand. And if you're bound, release the bind. Release the knee all the way down. Windmill yourself back up. So we'll come to the other side. Left foot extends out long. So while you're in gate pose, you're trying to have your hips even so you're not coming back. And your heel and your knee are about even. So left hand to the left leg, right arm moves up and over. Release that shoulder. Hips are forward. And then slowly revolving all the way down. Hand comes straight up. This hand is down on the ground. Again, fingers spread nice and wide. We'll come to our little half moon. So squeezing the leg, lifting up, staying here, or finding the bind. And if you want to stay here, then that's okay too, or just lift a little bit. Either way, just taking another couple breaths wherever you are. And then finally releasing the knee down, coming back up. So we'll come to camel. I'm going to turn around on my mat just so you can see where I am. Go ahead and tuck your toes. If you have a camel practice, then you can release the toes down and come back as much as you want. But for now, we'll all just be here with tucked toes, hands towards the hips so that the bottom of the palm is at the top of the hip. Pull the shoulder blades together so that the chest is reaching forward. Pull that lower belly in below the belly button. So as you're here, just lift as if something is grabbing you up towards the sky. You have two options with your chin. Your chin can be tucked, kind of looking at where the ceiling and the wall meet. It can be reaching back, but make sure that your whole body doesn't come back. It's just a lifting from the top. If this isn't enough for you, then you can bring your hands down to your heels. And again, you're not just lifting from the lower back, you're lifting from the top of the back and releasing. Camel is one of those things that sometimes you feel it and sometimes you don't, even if you are super flexible in your back. And wherever you are, go ahead and come up. So we're come to hero pose. And there are so many different ways to do this. One way is to simply sit back on your heels. If you have a lot of flexibility in your knees, not a lot of scar tissue, and you have a lot of openness in the tops of your thighs, then maybe your feet can come just outside of your hips, pulling back the fleshy part of your calf and sitting in between. A lot of us don't have that flexibility, so this is where your blocks or your pillow and blanket come in handy. You also have the option of putting your block between your feet to sit here, or even two blocks, and your blanket, whatever feels best to you. I'm gonna just sit back on my heels for today. So here, pulling in the belly, lifting the heart, bringing the hands to heart center, taking a pause, just reflecting on where you've been in your practice so far. Breathing in nice and deep, sitting up nice and tall. And from here, we're going to come to what's called cow face arms. And that's just bringing the right arm up, releasing it behind you. I'm going to turn my back so you can see where I am. So releasing your right arm behind you, bringing your left arm to reach towards it. You might be here and that's okay. If you have a strap, you can put it in your hands or a belt. Maybe you reach your hands. And from here, what's important is that you keep this right arm reaching up as much as you can and try not to come down, but stay with that nice straight back. As you breathe here, I want you to breathe into your ribs, as if you had shoelaces at the front of your ribs and they're opening up, loosening up with your inhale. And then with your exhale, you're drawing those shoelaces in, drawing the ribs in together, closing the eyes and taking at least 5 nice deep breaths here. And as you're ready, slowly start to release the arms down. Take a time to roll them out. And then we'll come to the other side, still sitting up straight. Now the left arm will come up, bend at the elbow and reach back. The right arm comes back to reach towards it. Maybe it reaches it. Maybe you have a belt to help. Maybe it just reaches towards it and has that nice little space there. The left arm is up towards the sky as much as you can get it. The chest is up towards the sky. Taking that nice deep opening of the ribs and closing of the ribs with your breath as you close the eyes here and just really feel what's happening in the body. And then slowly releasing the arms down. Again, just kind of taking time to roll them out. Coming to all fours again. And we're gonna come to a low lunge because we've probably been sitting a lot during this time and we really want to stretch out those hip flexors, get into the psoas and all of that. So bringing the left foot forward so you can move the left hand inside to facilitate that a bit. If you need to kind of draw your foot forward, that's okay too. Trying to get the left knee exactly over the left ankle, reaching back that right knee to make as much space between that knee and this heel as possible. You have your blocks or whatever you have at home, cans of beans. So you can also use these to help to lift. As you lift, let the hips drop down, look forward, take those nice deep breaths. Keep trying to kind of drop that right front of the hip on the ground. Keep feeling as if you could go lower and lower as you lift the chest. So from here, you're gonna bring that left hand to the inside of the left leg. Move your left foot out about a foot width. Now we're coming to what's called lizard now. So you're staying in the same positioning with your legs and you're just gonna bend the elbows back towards you. So you might just be here. If you have a block or something to put under you, you can bring your forearms here. You've got just that little bit more flexibility, openness. You also have the option to bring both arms down to the ground in your lizard. Whatever is feeling good today. Wherever you are, if you're on your forearms, you want to feel an evenness so that you're not just reaching into the right arm or you're not just reaching into the left, but both nice and even. Keep the chest extended out, close down the eyes. Again, that's the best way to really feel your way into this and get the most out of a pose. Close the eyes, breathe nice and deeply, those nice 3-part breaths. With an inhale, go ahead and lift yourself up if you've come down. And we're going to turn the left foot, toes out as if you're coming towards 10 o'clock, 1 o'clock on the ground. Your left hand comes to the inside of your left leg, and then you're just going to open up the foot. So you roll over to the pinky toe side and drop that hip down any amount in the knee. As you do this, you're going to roll the left shoulder upward, reaching the chest outward. So you can stay right here. This is a really nice stretch for all of both hip areas. The other option, if you want a little more for the front of the right thigh, is to find a bind so that the left hand reaches back for the right foot. And again, just pause, maybe close the eyes, take a few breaths here. If you're bound, go ahead and release the foot. Bring your hands back to the inside, bring your foot back to neutral. Very slowly, because you've opened up that hip a lot, start to shift the hips back, walking the hands back so that you get a straightness to this left leg, drawing the toes upward. If you want to use your blocks, you can have your blocks so that they're under the shoulders as you're in this stretch, you're reaching the chest forward. If this is too much, then it's okay to keep the leg bent a little bit. But just finding that nice reaching of the chest and the toes towards one another, those nice deep breaths. With an inhale, go ahead and bend at the knee again. Letting your hands come to the inside of the foot again, go ahead and bring that left knee back. Take a moment here in table, maybe you take a couple of cat-cows, dropping down the spine and lifting it back up. And then we'll go ahead and move to the other side. So with your right hand coming inward a little bit, bring that right leg forward until your knee is over top of your ankle. And again, you can pause here with your hands down towards the ground. You can bring your blocks to help you lift the chest a little bit. The important thing is that this front of the left hip is reaching down, as if you could drop it down towards the ground. The shoulders are rolled back. And you're just pausing and breathing. From here, we'll bring this into lizard. So let both hands come to the inside of that right foot, moving that right foot out ever so slightly, about a foot width. And then you can pause here, you can bend at the elbows, you can bring a block under your forearms, or come all the way down to your forearms on the mat, whichever feels comfortable, and know that each side is different, so it's okay to have differences on the sides. And just pause, try not to round the spine as much as you can, try to straighten it out. I know it's hard when you're here. Close down the eyes to feel yourself breathing into the parts that are nice and tense, and take those nice deep breaths. And if you're down on your forearms, go ahead and lift yourself up. Moving the block out of the way. Turn the right toes as if you're reaching towards 2 o'clock on the clock. Lift up so that the inside arch is lifting up. Right hand to the right knee, and right shoulder rolls over top of the left. Again, you have the option to stay there. You also have the option to add that bind so the left foot comes up and the right arm reaches back towards it. Release the hand back down. If you're bound, go ahead and bring that foot slightly back in. Ever so slowly start to shift the hips back, coming to that nice extension of the right leg. Again, option to bring your blocks so that they're under your arms or can of beans, whatever it is. Also option to keep your hands down to the ground, or to keep a slight bend in your knee if that's what you need. Whatever feels nice and comfortable. But again, just staying here, trying not to round, trying to extend out as much as you can, drawing the toes back as if the toes and the chest have a line towards one another, and nice deep breaths. With an inhale, go ahead and walk yourself back up. Move the blocks off to the side, both hands come to the inside of the leg, and very slowly bring that right knee back again. Just take a pause here at table. Just kind of letting your hips neutralize again. You've done a lot with them right now. And then keeping your knees about hip width apart, maybe slightly wider. Go ahead and reach back. And this time, letting the arms drop down beside you. If this isn't a comfortable child's pose for you, then you can come to bringing your legs wider again and reaching forward. But just being here again, surrender for a few breaths. With an inhale, go ahead and draw yourself back up to that table. And let's draw the right knee in ever so slightly, draw the left leg back. So just staggering the knees a little bit. And then with an inhale, the right arm's gonna rise straight towards the sky. With an exhale, drawing it under, reaching it as far out as you can, and then drop down to the shoulder, let the head relax down. If you want, this left arm can stay here. Another option is to draw it out nice and long, walk it back
towards the right side of your mat to get a stretch all the way into the underarm. Another option is to tuck the toe, lift the leg, get that nice calf stretch while you're here too. Take a few breaths. If your leg's extended, go ahead and release it back down. If your left arm's extended, go ahead and bring it back. With an inhale, raise the right arm. And exhale, release down, come back to table. So going to the other side, bring the left leg slightly forward, the right leg slightly back. With an inhale, bring the left arm up. And exhale, reach that arm through again as far as you can, and then drop down to the shoulder, let the head relax. Right arm can reach up and over if you want, and you can extend the right leg. Release the leg. If it's extended, draw the arm back up and then down. With an inhale, raise the left arm up. And exhale, release back to table position. From here, go ahead and just roll over onto your back. Drawing the knees in. Taking a little rock side to side, relaxing the back, maybe with your hands to the tops of your knees, making little circles to feel the lower back relax even more. And then finally releasing one leg down and the other, letting the arms come to lay beside you. Palms up to relax the shoulders, let the feet drop off to the sides. This is Shavasana. This is one of the most important poses in yoga. This is where you get to let the physical part of your practice pass so that you can come into the mental part. So don't skip this part. Take a few minutes here. Go ahead and close down the eyes. I'm going to find a nice reading and bring you out of Shavasana with it as you're ready. So close your eyes. Know that I'm still here. You're not going to fall asleep. And really enjoy this downtime. And this is a reading by Scott Stabile. He's one of my fave authors. He says, maybe one day we can sit together in a cabin in the woods on a soft rug in front of the perfect fire. And maybe, just maybe, a family of elk will be playing in the falling snow outside. We'll smile, of course, at all the beauty of the moment, but even more at beauty in general, at the way it seems to announce itself whenever we're ready to see it. We'll take hold of each other's hands in friendship and look through each other's eyes with love. Though no words are needed, I'll have to tell you just how much I love you and that you are as beautiful and worthy as any soul who has ever lived or ever will live. And just how grateful I am, not just to know you, which is a profound miracle, but to know such an open and loving person exists at all. You'll probably cry because part of you won't believe me, and because part of you will know what I'm saying is true. Then we'll laugh at the pain and joy and absurdity of the world. And we'll lean into each other and hug, quietly and deeply, knowing beyond all other knowledge, we are one. So I hope you enjoyed the practice with me. I really appreciate you being here. And again, this is definitely, from a phone. I have no idea what I'm doing, but I hope that you find a lot of peace in your day to day, a lot of gratitude, a lot of happiness, and reach out if you need anything at all. Namaste.